What's going on, everyone, and welcome back to some Forza Horizon 5. New video. New car as well. I'm not going to be taking a look at the Corvette because I've already done that, obviously. This is the penultimate car, actually, that I'm going to be taking a look at from the newest car pack. And it's going to be this, the Risi Competizione Forza GTE 2019. Yeah, I want to have a look at this thing. This is the Ferrari race car that they've added into the game, the 488. And, of course, I love Ferrari. Ferrari's very cool. I love a lot of their V12 engines, even some of their V8 ones. Not a big fan of the turbocharged V8 ones. Like this Ferrari here. 458 is, in my opinion, one of the best Ferraris that they've made. That's in my opinion. Because of the package that it came in. Basically, is what started off this generation of Ferraris here, because they had the 488, the F8, and the styling hasn't changed that much since the 458. Obviously, they've changed a few bits and pieces, but I mean, you can even see resemblances of the 458 in this guy. And the 458 came out in like 2011, if I remember correctly. And I love that thing. That, like I said, it's one of the best V8 Ferraris ever made. And of course, there's some other ones which I'm gonna just name one right now. The CS. Oh, the 360 CS. The Scuderia 430. Oh, beautiful V8s. But the 458, in my opinion, is the nicest one, because it's modern enough, but it's not like brand new. And it's before all of these OPFs and stuff like that, basically, that tried to mute the sound of the cars. And again, like I said, it's just such a very, very cool car. Yeah, I like this 488 as well. I mean, why wouldn't I like it? Like I said, I love Ferrari, and Ferrari's got some really, really nice stuff. Oh, I like the 488 in the door as well. In the door card. That is very cool. This is a really nice interior. I mean, of course, it's a Ferrari interior. And you can see pretty much everything's still being the same. Slight changes, though, to it. Of course, the steering wheel and all that sort of stuff. But, again, it's still a Ferrari inside. I love the pedals that you can see down there. I don't know if you guys can see that. That is very cool. Can I go into photo mode inside? I can go into photo mode inside, but I can't zoom in or do anything. But everything is focused, pretty much. I never actually thought about doing this. Everything's basically in focus. Whereas if you're just looking at the car like that, when you're getting in, it's not in focus. Interesting. Yeah, I've never thought about doing this. Just going into photo mode to do this. Yeah, cool. I like it a lot. It's really, really nice. It's also an S2 car. It's not an S1, so it's one of the big boys. I've obviously had a list of cars that I've taken around the track, the Edelstrecker or Edelstrecker, whatever you wanna say it like, but from what we've checked out so far, the mid-engine cars are goated. We have the 4GT, which is not part of the car pack, but it is still one of these cars, and it's come out basically in the festival playlist, and I've tested that out, and that was the fastest one. And it still is the fastest car so far around that track. Barely the fastest one. Because in one of the previous videos, I've also checked out the Corvette that you've seen at the start of this video. And that thing just is like 0.001 of a second slower than the 4GT. So they're basically identical, pretty much identical cars. I mean, any little mistake that I made on that track, maybe in the Corvette, if I maybe like got a tiny bit faster, like if I rewinded and I went through the finish line again, I could potentially even get the same time as the 4GT. That's how close it was. So like just acceleration, slight acceleration, or a slight bump in the track would have changed it. So those two cars are pretty much identical. So we'll see how this Ferrari is like. Again, mid-engine means it just shifts its weight really nicely when you're turning in. It feels like a really, really nice car to drive. And again, like I said, all these cars are very, very similar to each other. I've said this in previous videos. Like, not much is going to change between all these cars when you're driving them, because they all handle pretty much the same. Like I said, small differences between them you will be able to spot, but most of them will be very, very similar. All right. Well, enough of this, driving around for you. Let's bring it over on the track and actually set a few times with it and see how close I could actually get to the other cars that we had go around the track. So let's swap over to this track. There it is. Here's the share code, even though I keep forgetting to press it, but there it is if you want to see it. It's got a lot of plays, and yeah, this thing should be quick. 600 horsepower, 730 newton-meters of torque, weighs 1,320 kilos. It should be very, very fast, and really, really nice to drive. So, let's go. I want to see how close I can get to the other cars. I actually do have the times. I'm going to open up the times on my right monitor just so I can have a look at them. Just so they're there. So, right now, at the very top, the Ford GT 127.161, Corvette 127.162, and then BMW M8 127.679, and then the cars below that are all the cars that were in S1890, so they're different class of cars, pretty much, but yeah. I'm expecting this to be around the 127s, just like the other three cars. But how close am I going to get it to the top, though? That is the thing. Again, 5 laps. Now those 5 laps, we'll see which one's the best one. Which lap I ended up doing really well in. It doesn't feel as twitchy as some of the other ones, though. It doesn't like turn sharply into the corner, if that makes sense. I feel like I prefer the Corvette already. I think I prefer the Corvette to this. Acceleration out of the corner is fine. It's again quite similar to some of the other cars. It's actually a little smoother, I think, accelerating out of the corners. And by that I mean, like, I feel like I can plant my foot down earlier and not expect this thing to slide out and either understeer or oversteer at all. So I can just put my foot down with it. Nice and early. Interesting, interesting, interesting. The braking is really, really nice. It actually pulls the front end inwards really nicely. A little bit too fast for some of these corners, but that's okay. Still learning how to drive this thing properly. First lap of 131 dead, pretty much. Let's try to do a rolling lap here, because these are the ones that matter. Little bit of oversteer there. You saw it catch my back end and kind of want to push me out. But not too crazy. Just a tiny bit. It's the way I transferred my weight, actually, I think is what made it oversteer like that. Yeah, look, I can just floor it out of second gear pretty much. Even turning in as well and flooring it in second gear. It's fine. It rotates nicely. It's, yeah, like I said, it's just not as twitchy. I feel like I prefer the Corvette a little bit, but I think this is cleaner, and it might genuinely be even faster than the Corvette and the Ford GT. Not 100% sure, but it feels like it could be. Isn't the whole thing the slower you are, the slower it looks, the faster it is, or something like that? I also cut massively on that part there earlier on. I might try to give myself a little bit of a penalty, because I don't like if I cut, basically. Yeah, I'm gonna give myself a penalty. I feel like that's enough. Oh, this is the fastest car. I gave myself a penalty, and I still managed to get 127.2. I'll beat that 127.2 without cutting or anything like that. But I didn't want to set a lap time where I basically ruin the actual lap itself, if that makes sense. This is definitely the fastest car. Like I said, it feels like it's not as twitchy, but I can accelerate out of corners so much faster, or so much earlier than the other cars. Just overall, it's such a nice feeling car to drive. But again, as I prefer my cars a little bit more twitchy, I kind of feel like the Corvette seems like slightly nicer to drive, but this is just much cleaner. And I can't deny that. This is a much cleaner car to drive, as in, like, it's so much more precise when I'm driving through corners than that. It just feels... It feels much better to drive. Oh, the skip was annoying. I messed that one up so badly. Not enough that it would stop me from getting a decent time, but it was crap. That was a crap lap. Okay, let's beat that 127. I'll see you guys at the end. Alright, I'm done. 721. Oh, it's already the fastest one. Yeah. It hasn't even just beat the Ford GT, but it's obliterated it. 126.453 being the fastest one. I've done, I think, 2 126s, and I was like, oh my god, this is just quick. Yeah, it's a very, very good car to drive. I think it has the perfect amount of power. I think if I slightly add more power onto this thing, it's gonna be worse. I genuinely think this is gonna be worse. So this puts it at the top. This is so far the fastest race car that I've tested out of all the cars so far, in the car pack and including the Ford GT. Really, really, really good car. Really good. Try it out for yourselves and let me know what you think about it. Yeah, I'm gonna go and upgrade it and do things to it, or change some things on it, because that's what I usually do. We'll get to see what sort of engine options there are available for this thing and all that. We have the Racing V12 as well that we can slap on it, and we have the LAF engine. I mean, I kind of want to put the LAF engine in this thing, but I'm going to ruin it. I know for a fact I'm going to ruin it because it's just going to change the characteristics of this car. It's just not going to drive the same. Oh my god, we can't even turbo it. Yeah, it's just going to completely change the characteristics of this car. It's just not going to handle the same, and it's just not going to be as good by adding this much power to it. I have an idea, actually. I have an idea. I want to bring it up on the hill climb. How about that? So I'll all-wheel drive swap it, I'll give it a lot of power, but I'll bring it up on the Vulcan Sprint. How about that? We'll do one of those. Okay. Brakes are upgraded, pretty much everything is upgraded on this thing. I think anything else that I end up even changing on it will end up smacking it up into X class. So let's keep it in S2 for now. This is pretty much what the stats are like. 1,259 horsepower at 1,330 kilos. Right. I'm going to slap a little bit of a tune onto this thing, and then we'll take it up on the Vulcan Sprint, because I feel like it'll be kind of funny to bring it up there. Even though I know for a fact it's not going to be anywhere near as good as the crazy meta OP cars, but I want to try it anyway, just to see what it's like. Alright, here it is, the Vulcan Sprint. I don't know who my rival is, but I think it's a really, really fast time. Because I remember I used some crazy fast cars on this uphill mountain run. So, we'll see. Oh yeah, it's the BTTB. I have no chance of winning this. It is mostly rear bias, like I said, and I have made it a little bit more twitchy. It does turn in quite nicely. Still running out of corners. Very good. It's got a lot more downforce this time around because I ended up changing it, so it's going to be really good around corners. Hopefully. Yeah, I think around corners I can kind of keep up a little bit. But it's the mix of corners and the straights that BTTB is just so OP in. I mean, this is nice and all, but yeah, it's nowhere near OP. The brakes on it are unreal now. I changed to the carbon ceramics instead of the stock brakes that were on this thing. My god, they're so much better. I also don't even know how fast I need to go for some of these corners. Whoa, whoa, whoa. I also don't even know how fast I need to go for some of these corners because it's my first time driving it like this, so I've just kind of thrown myself into the deep end and I'm like, okay, let's just drive, see what happens. Is it nice to drive? Yes. Is it OP? Absolutely not. But it's not going to be. Is it a good alternative to the BTTB? Nope. But it is a nice car to drive. It's got that going for it. It's enjoyable. And again, if you're trying to set up, I've ruined it. if you're trying to, I don't know why I went so fast. If you're trying to set up like a race where it's just all just these race cars from the car pack, maybe you're doing it with your mates or something, but you just want to only use these cars, or you want to use like very specific like just race cars, I think this is a very, very good option. Not maxed out, but keep them close to stock. You can probably even drop this car down to S1 like I've done with the Corvette, where you basically take it and you slap some heavy wheels on it. It's really, really good when it's close to stock. So maybe try it like that and see what it's like, but don't upgrade it because I feel like you're gonna ruin it. It just doesn't feel right as well, making it all-wheel drive. I think as a rear-wheel drive, I think the balance was just much better. So I definitely do think keep it mid-engine rear-wheel drive and you'll be fine. And it'll actually drive really nicely. But yeah, like I said, this is now the fastest car out of all the cars that I've tested so far, completely stock. And it looks really, really good too, as well. Of course, the Rosso Corsa Ferrari always looks good. Anyway, well that's it. Thank you for watching, everybody. I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you want to see more videos like this on the channel, as usual, subscribe, you know, to keep up to date with all the content that I make. And yeah, like this video if you enjoyed it. Show your support on the channel just by clicking the like button or leave a comment. Anyway, regardless, thank you for watching, everyone. I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.